Alright guys, so I've got something a little bit different here. As you can tell, this is a Microbrand, not an AliExpress watch. Thought I'd break it up a bit. You're probably seeing a lot of AliExpress watches at the moment with the sale coming up. Also, I just haven't reviewed a Microbrand for a while. So, when I was contacted about checking this one out, I just had to jump on it because I think it's a really interesting piece. It's also an interesting brand as well. So, the brand is About Vintage. As you can probably tell from that name, they focus on vintage kind of style watches, which I actually really like. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll probably know that. But they also do something interesting with this particular watch as well. So for every one they sell, they're actually going to be helping support the Turtle Foundation, which helps protect green turtles. So really nice touch. If you want to know more about that, I'll leave the link down in the description so you can check it out for yourself, find out a bit more. As for the actual watch, that's got some interesting things about it too, but we'll talk about that when we get into the review. So full disclosure, I was sent this for free, don't have to send it back, but you know the score. So I'm going to change the way I do my reviews, going to keep it 100% honest all the time, no matter what. Before we jump into this though, one other thing, I have actually got a discount code for this. So if you use the discount code HONESTREVIEWS, you get a nice discount on there. But enough waffling, let's jump right in and find out what it's all about. So here's the box it comes in. Nice wooden box. The About Vintage branding, laser etched into the top there. Do you like that? So, got the watch there, pop that to one side for a second. So we've got a bit of paperwork in here, I won't go over that, it's just instructions and a little card thanking you for buying the watch, telling you about the brand. Then we've got a little tag with the logo on, and also the model number. So 1926, steel blue vintage turtle on a 3-link bracelet. So an interesting thing with that bracelet, when you buy it, they do actually ask you what size wrist you got, and they do actually size the watch accordingly before they send it out, which I think is a nice little touch, because if you haven't got the tools to do it yourself, you don't want to pay someone else to do it. It's good that they do that for you. Just a little bit of attention to detail. Another nice little touch as well is the fact that they not only give you this bracelet, they also give you an option to add another strap. So I think there's like a leather option, rubber option, I think there's a NATO, but there is also another bracelet, which is the one I went with. So that came in this little separate box, and there it is. So you've got a 5-link bracelet there. So I've now actually got 2 bracelets for this watch, and this one was. So I do really appreciate that. That is a really nice option. If you're getting the extra one, I'd recommend getting this, because you can always buy a cheap strap to go with it later, on a leather one or a rubber one. But to have a nice other bracelet that fits perfectly, I think it's a no-brainer. Forgot to mention, I've actually been wearing it more on this bracelet than the one that came with it, but I'll show you in the video what they both look like on the watch. So here it is on the original 3-link bracelet. I think it does look good. Although, as I said, I have been wearing it more on the 5-link that I got with it. But this does look good still. Another thing that does look good is that dial. So, nice textured dial there. Nice deep blue. And then we've got those gold indices and hands, as well as the gold accents on the bezel. It does complement it nicely. But before we talk about that anymore, let's talk about the dimensions. So we've got a diameter of 39.5, but if you include that bezel, which sticks out just past the case, it's more like 40. Then we've got a thickness of 11.9, lug width of 20. Then the all-important lug to lug is coming in at 47.3, but you can see we've got male end links on this, so it does actually effectively have a lug to lug more like 52, but they do curve down pretty quickly, so it still conforms to wrist nicely. That's the same for the other bracelet as well. But again, they both wear pretty nicely on my 7-inch wrist, as I'll show you in a bit. Obviously, if that's going to be too big for you, you might be better off going for one of the strap options, like the leather or the rubber or something maybe. But something to be aware of. So let's go zoom in on that dial, so you can see a bit more detail. As I said, really nice looking. But something you probably notice straight away, there's not really any AR on this. So it's quite a bit of glare. But again, I guess that's kind of in keeping with the vintage aesthetics of the watch. But it would have been nice if they added a little bit. Something I didn't notice when I initially looked at this, hopefully this will come up on camera, if not I'll chuck in some macro. So we've got applied indices, but the ones at the 12 and the 6 are actually recessed, which I think is a nice little design touch, which mixes it up a little bit. Then when it comes to all the text on there, it's all just printed, nothing applied. We've got the logo at the top there, just below the 12, and all the other text just at the bottom. And then right at the bottom, we've got 200 meter. It's 200 meter water resistant. We've also got that logo on the crown as well, and also on the clasp. So you'll like to see that consistent branding across that. When it comes to the bezel, that's an aluminium bezel insert, again in keeping with the vintage aesthetics. And we have actually got a loom pip at the top there. So it's a 120 click bezel. Got a nice action in it. Not really any backplay, but unfortunately the one I have, you can see it is ever so slightly misaligned. It's ever so slightly off to the left, but not majorly, so I can deal with it. Zooming back out, let's talk about case finishing. You probably noticed before, we've got polished sides on this, so they do gather fingerprints a little bit, but it is really nicely done. Nice bit of courage to that case as well. And then on the top, they are brushed to match the bracelet, so it integrates nicely. When it comes to the bracelet, push pins coming around to that clasp. We've got the fold over, just a friction based clasp, again in keeping with the vintage aesthetics, but we have got a milled one, so that is good. We've also got plenty of micro adjust there as well, so sizing won't be an issue. So another nice touch of this bracelet is the fact that it's quick release as well, and that is on both of them. So I've just quickly popped that so I can show you something else that's really good about this. So they offer free engraving service, so you can engrave a little message or something on the back, or a name or something. So obviously I had to go for Honest Watch Reviews, just customise it for the channel, something I've not had on the channel before, so it's going to make this one a little bit special. Obviously one I'm not going to be selling, probably no one would want it anyway with that on the back, but again, it's just a nice little milestone for the channel. And if you want to customise it for someone's birthday or something like that, again, nice touch, and the fact that it's free, I do appreciate that too. While we're around here, let's talk about the specs. So we've got About Vintage VH31 sweep. That's because this is a VH31 movement, which is a quartz movement, but it's got a sweep kind of like an automatic. Model number, model name, that is 200 meters, and sapphire crystal. So let's test out if it is actually sapphire crystal, using the trusty diamond selector too. And yep, we have got sapphire crystal. So it's always good to see. Don't need to worry about it getting scratched. And it is like a box style crystal on that as well, even though it is quite subtle, you can just about see it. So just quickly show you that movement in action. So we've got a screw down crown, nice and grippy. Popping out just the one position. See the second hand stopped, so you got hacking. Then obviously just change the turn. Pop it back in, second hand re-engages. You can see we've got that kind of smooth sweep, almost mimicking an automatic. Screw that down. All working well, no issues there. If you do have any issues with this, you've actually got a 2-year warranty on this. So, a bit of peace of mind there. So now, let's check out what the loom's like. So you probably just about see a little bit there, but let's charge it up, give it a proper chance. And there we go. So, actually not too bad initially. Pretty consistent across the hands and the indices, even those indices aren't actually applied, which are recessed. But you'll probably begin to see pretty quickly it does start to fade on the indices especially. That loom pip in the hands are a little bit brighter, which is obviously ideal if you do want to be using this for like swimming or diving or anything. Although I wouldn't recommend using it for diving, because the loom does fade pretty quickly. Living up to that vintage inspired style again. Not great, but again, it's a vintage style piece, so I guess it's in keeping. But it would have been nice if they had a better loom on it. So, not great, but not terrible. The hands last an okay amount of time. But again, as I say, the indices, as you can see now, fade pretty quickly. Hands, they're alright, but not going to be lasting you all night. So before I show you what these are both like on wrist, with both different bracelets, let's talk about the price. 15% discount using the code HONESTREVIEWS. So for what you're getting, when you can get 2 bracelets, the fact that you've got a pretty nice dial, yeah, the loom isn't brilliant, but other than that, well, and on my particular one, the bezel is ever so slightly misaligned. I think it's a pretty nice package. You can get a custom engraved case back, which again is a really nice thing. You're not paying extra for it. Yes, it's a quartz movement, but it is a VH movement, so it's still that smooth kind of sweep. So it's at least mimicking an automatic. It's not like the horrible jerky quartz movements. So it's kind of like the best of both. But enough waffling, let's show you what they're both like on wrist. So this is what it looks like on the original 3-link bracelet. As I said, because those end links curve down pretty quickly, it does conform to my 7-inch wrist really nicely. Also, there's a nice bit of curvature to that case as well, which also helps. So, fully brushed bracelet, so you're not going to worry about getting scratched or anything really. No polished bits. Although you've got nice polished details on the chamfers on the clasp. So, do like it on that. But I'll quickly show you now what it's like on the one I've been wearing on more. And this is what it looks like on the 5-link, which again, I just think suits the watch better. But let me know what you think. Which one do you think looks better? Which one would you prefer? Or would you go for one of the leather straps or something else entirely? I just like the fact that you've got a few little polished details on the centre links here, kind of matching in with the other little polished accents throughout the watch. I think it just suits it better overall. But in terms of value for money, I think it's an alright package. Yeah, there's a couple of little things I'd probably want to adjust slightly. A little bit of AR on the crystal would be good. Obviously the loom. On my particular one, the bezel is ever so slightly misaligned. But that's pretty much it. With that discount code, I think it's a good deal. Especially because you can get 2 bracelets or 2 straps, that custom engraving on the back. Make it your own, or make it a nice present for someone. Nice box. I recommend it. If you can deal with those slight issues, the little compromises that you kind of expect from vintage watches, with this being vintage inspired, that might not be a deal breaker for you. So if you are interested in picking one up, links down in the description. And again, don't forget that discount code to get an extra little bit off. But that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.